Hey loves, and welcome back. I am Antoinette Malcolm, the CEO and founder of Love Esteem. Love Esteem is a nonprofit organization that's focusing on you walking in your God-given authenticity. That is exactly who we are, and that is what we do. I hope you all had an absolutely amazing weekend, and that this week is nothing but blessings and promises and beauty for you. As I was studying and reading, God had took me to Ephesians 4 and 7. And Ephesians 4 and 7 says, "But to each one of us, grace has been given as Christ apportioned it." I'll read that again. "But to each one of us, grace has been given as Christ apportioned it." I want you to understand that this week, what God is saying is that whatever you're going through, you're graced for it. You're graced for it. The situation that you're in, the circumstance that you're in, the problem that you're facing, you, my friend, are graced for it. We all have a certain measure of grace. The grace that you have is necessary for you to run the race that God has you in. The grace that God has given you, the grace that He's poured out on you, the grace that He has over you is necessary for your race. See, the thing is, there was a saying that if you wanted to know a thing about a person, walk a mile in their shoes. You can't walk a mile in my shoes because I'm graced to walk a mile in my shoes. We may have the same shoe size, but my taste in shoes may be different from yours. My shoes may be bigger. My shoes may be smaller. To you, my shoes may not even be comfortable enough. But to me, my shoes fit me just fine. If you know anything about this little story, there was a story where this young lady, her name was Goldilocks, and she went in this home that belonged to 3 bears. And she tested and tried every one of their beds. It didn't fit her, but she found one that she thought fit, laid in it, got comfortable, and got caught. What I'm saying is, even though you've tried everybody else's grace and compared yourself and like, nah, I don't fit that one. Nah, I don't like that one. I can't be like her. I'm going to try this one over here. You get comfortable and you get stuck, and then you get caught up and you get caught. See, you're not graced to be in a house with 3 bears. Because my understanding is when the 3 bears came home, Papa Bear was quite upset. Okay, she had an 8-day porridge and did all of that. But what I want you to understand is you're graced for your race. Don't go around comparing yourself to everybody else. Don't compare your process to everybody else's process. Don't compare your walk to somebody else's walk. You're graced for your race. I'm going to say that again. You're graced for your race. As much as I love my sisters, I can't be like them. I don't have the grace that they have. I have the grace that God has given me. And as much as they love me, they can't do what I do. They can't be who I am because I'm graced to do what God has called me to do. Walmart is graced to be Walmart. Target is graced to be Target. Starbucks is graced to be Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts is graced to be Dunkin' Donuts. My favorite of them all, Chick-fil-A, has a grace from God Himself. They are graced to do what they do. Just because you see everybody else selling what you sell, doing what you do, walking with what you walk in, does not mean that they have the same grace that you have. God graced you for that job. God graced you for that business. God graced you in that relationship. God graced you in your singleness. God graced you. You have the grace to do it. And you also have the grace to finish. You are graced for your race. Don't you dare tap out. Don't you dare give up. And don't you dare compare yourself to somebody else. I pray that this blesses you. I pray that as you go through the week, that you no longer compare your race to the race of somebody on your right or to somebody on your left. But you know that each of us is given a measure of grace, and God has graced you specifically for what he has called you for. Don't you dare take another day this week and think about your journey compared to somebody else's. Find what God has called you to do. Seek God for what he has created you to do. And watch a grace fall upon you to do it. Your grace for your race. And if you are in a position where you have not accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and you feel as though you can't go another day and your grace has run out, make the decision today. Simply, the only thing you have to do is believe in your heart and confess with your mouth that God raised Jesus from the dead and that he rose with all power in his hands. That seals it for you. I love you all so much. I'm praying for you. I'm praying that even if you felt as though you have been depleted of grace, that God will pour out another refreshing of grace upon you, that he will give you another measure of grace. Don't be weary. Don't get tired. Don't compare yourself to everybody else. They may have the same product, but they are not you. Your grace for your race. I love you all. I'll see you next week. Have an absolutely amazing week and be entirely blessed. Mwah.